Hi, and welcome to our VPN-SP review of OverPlay. I've used the service for a few years now, so I'm excited to share my experiences with you today. It started on our VPNSP.com site. As I scroll down to our top 10 VPN services, I'm simply going to click the Visit Site for OverPlay. And the reason why I went through the site is the OverPlay team has been kind enough to offer our users a discount on their services. So they're offering 25% off in addition to their normal term discounts on OverPlay. So as we talk about OverPlay, they offer two different services. One is VPN, which is the encrypted connection that you could expect from all VPN services. And when it comes to VPN, they have a large network. They have servers in nearly 50 countries and support OpenVPN, PPTP, and L2TP connections. We'll get into that in a moment, but their VPN gives you, certainly has a lot to offer. The second service that OverPlay has is called their Smart DNS. And Smart DNS gives you access to streaming services and channels in other countries. The difference being that Smart DNS doesn't include the encryption of a VPN. So with Smart DNS, what you're doing is you're using the service to unrestrict geoblocks in other countries. So services like Netflix, Hulu, BBC iPlayer, there are a number of channels. They actually have some listed here. They list ABC, NBC, HBO Go, and so forth, that use your location to determine whether or not you have access to the service. So you can use OverPlay's VPN or Smart DNS to get around those restrictions. So as we come down their site, you'll see, as I mentioned, they have the two services listed: Secure VPN, which is the encrypted connection. Secure VPN members also have access to their Smart DNS service. It is included with that membership, and those plans start at $6.25 a month with our 25% off coupon code. On the Smart DNS side, for those who want to access channels and streaming services in other countries but don't need the extra privacy protection of having a VPN to encrypt, they have the service starting at $3.12 a month. So about right at half the price of the VPN. But for anyone who needs privacy, I definitely recommend the Secure VPN, which includes Smart DNS. When we talk about their VPN service, they mentioned a few of the features here, and you can scroll across and see a number of their Smart DNS features as well. In general, when we talk about VPN, you're looking at that secure encrypted connection, so you're going to protect your privacy online. This is especially important when you are traveling. If you're in, let's say, a hotel or any unsecured network or Wi-Fi hotspot, then you're going to want to use a VPN in those scenarios. On the Smart DNS side, again, that is all about an unencrypted connection that will give you access to the channels and services in other countries. Okay, so now let's take a look at the service itself. We're going to start with VPN. As you can see, I'm connected to a server in Ashburn, Virginia, and I wanted to start out connected so that I could show you a speed test and some different features, and then we'll circle back and I'll show you more about the software itself. I'm running Windows 10 and the OverPlay client. Windows 10 was just released a couple weeks ago, so we're impressed to see OverPlay already supporting the new operating system. Alright, so I'm going to hop on over to speedtest.net, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say test again. I'm just going to test the connection to their server in Virginia. And this is something I always recommend. Anytime you test a VPN, you're going to want to test and make sure that the speed is good for whatever you're wanting to do with the service. In the case of OverPlay right now, it is getting some unbelievable speeds. I mean, these are great, right? So this is very high, right in line with what my ISP would be offering off of the VPN. So we'll let it complete its upload test, but again, it's going to be right in line with what our ISP is offering. This isn't always the case. There are several VPNs that when you test these providers, you'll notice that you lose quite a bit of speed. So make sure when you test any service that you run some speed tests along the way, test some different locations, wherever you think you might use the service. Now obviously, the further away you are from the location of the server you connect to, the more of an impact you can expect that to be on your performance. So in a moment I'll connect to like a server in the UK, and we could definitely expect a performance hit based on how far away. I'm actually in the United States, so for example, if I connect to a server in Australia, I can definitely expect that connection to be slower. Now, as I mentioned, I'm connected to a server in the United States. That would help me access channels like NBC, CBS, ABC, popular streaming services like Netflix and Hulu. Now some of these are going to require membership, so you would still need to sign up, but you could go ahead and connect to the VPN server in the US. By doing so, that gives you an IP address, which really gives you access as if you were sitting physically in the United States using the service. So you can think of it that way. It will give you an IP address in whichever country you connect to. Now I'm going to flip over to BBC iPlayer real quick, and the reason I'm doing that is just to show you. As I mentioned, I'm connected to a server in the United States, so BBC iPlayer is rightly showing a message that says that programs are only available to play in the UK. So this is what we talk about when we talk about geo restriction or geo blocking. That's exactly what they're doing. They're looking at my IP address and saying, no, you're not inside the UK, so you can't watch programming. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and close up my browser here real quick. And in a moment, we're going to connect to the UK. But right now, I'm going to disconnect, and I want to show you the client real quick. I'm going to go back to what I'll call the basic mode. This is the mode that comes up when the client launches. It's very easy to connect to any country. You would simply choose the location to connect to and click connect. I'm not going to do that, but that's all you would need to do. Now if I go up here to connection and click on advanced mode, it gives me a number of other options. Now by default, whether you're in advanced or basic mode, you're going to be using OpenVPN and what they call fast mode. Now for those who are more technical, fast mode is UDP and safe mode is TCP. For streaming and other purposes, I really recommend OpenVPN and fast mode on that UDP connection. If you have anything that you need some additional error checking on, go with safe mode, but I would only do that if you happen to have problems, which we have not. They also offer PPTP and L2TP connections. I would really only recommend those for devices that don't support OpenVPN. The reason being that OpenVPN is the most secure, and as you saw a moment ago, is also plenty fast on the OverPlay network. Also in the advanced mode, you'll notice that it shows each server for each location. So a number of their countries will have multiple servers. The United States had several. I had connected to a server in Ashburn, but they had several options and locations. Next thing I'd like to do is connect to a server in London so that we can test BBC iPlayer. Alright, we're authenticating, and you'll notice that the client actually connects pretty quick, and it will show you what it's doing along the way. So we're already connected to the server in the UK. I'll open up Firefox again, and the first thing you'll notice, my home page is Google, and it's switched over to Google UK since I'm now located in the UK as far as my IP address is concerned. So I'm going to do a search for BBC iPlayer. I'm going to go back to the site, and I'm going to click on the same video that we were on before. Instead of getting the warning message, it's actually going to let me play the video. And the same thing would be true if I connected to a server in Germany or elsewhere. We would have access to content in that country. For those of you outside the United States, that opens up a very wide range of content. So I definitely recommend using either the VPN or Smart DNS. Again, the difference is encryption. I prefer a VPN because it gives you that extra layer of privacy. especially for a company like OverPlay that has great performance, regardless of whether you have the encryption. But again, for those who would never need the privacy protection or encryption, they have the Smart DNS service, which is about half the price. So that's the next thing that I would like to look at, is take a look at the OverPlay Smart DNS service. Alright, so the OverPlay Smart DNS service is very simple to use. You simply change your DNS settings to those provided by OverPlay and activate your IP address on their site, which it will take care of when you log in. From there, you have access to channels in other countries without the need for any kind of software or encrypted connection. Now, one of the extra features that OverPlay has over the competition, they call it Jet Switch, and it allows you to select the location you want for each service or channel, and it supports a very wide range of those. So I will show you, for example, for Netflix. Netflix has libraries in over 20 regions, and I'm sure that number is going to continue to grow very quickly. These are basically all of the locations that Netflix continues to grow into. So what you could do is switch this at any time. Now let's say, for example, Big Bang Theory is available in Netflix Brazil. That's just an example, but you'll find that movies and TV shows are available in different libraries or regions of Netflix. So you can go in here and you can actually change the region. Now the largest library by far for Netflix in particular is the United States. So I would suggest the United States unless you're looking for some niche programming that isn't available there. The same thing is true for other services. Like I said, this is very large. This list is very large, but what it allows you to do is set each of these individual channels or services to a location so that you don't have to, with some of the other Smart DNS services, a lot of them you don't have the option at all, so they'll only cover, say, one region of a particular channel. And also it can be very difficult because you'll have to switch settings because you want to watch something in, say, another country. It can get a little more complicated. So OverPlay takes care of that for you on the screen. You can very easily go into any of these channels and select the region, and in some cases select whether you want whether you want it to be on or off in between the region for the channel. So obviously I'm not going to go through all these, but I'll scroll down through them as I talk so you can get a bit of an idea of what OverPlay has to offer. These are all in alphabetical order. So as you scroll down through, you'll see that they have a variety of channels and programming to offer through the Smart DNS service. Now, once again, some of these are premium. So like Premier League Pass is a great example. It's a great way to get access to those Premier League games. So what you could do there is connect through their service, sign up, and enjoy all of the Premier League matches. Alright, we're almost down to the bottom of the list here. When we get to the bottom, I'm actually going to scroll back up to the top really quickly just to show you one more thing about the service. So if we go up to the top, I'm going to go to the channels page. Now this is available just from going to the OverPlay site, and the one thing I want to show you here is, like, I'll go to the United States. We can choose anything. I like A&E for like Walking Dead and some of those. So we take a look at A&E, and it will give us the website address, and it will also show us the services that it supports. So you could watch A&E through OverPlay Smart DNS on your computer and your web browser, on a mobile device, iOS or Android, or a number of set-top boxes on your TV, including Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. So that's really all there is to it. As I mentioned before, if you visit our site at vpnsp.com, you can scroll down to our top 10. OverPlay earned the number 2 spot, and that's due to the quality of the VPN as well as their Smart DNS. You can go here, you'll notice a 37% off. That's our 25% discount, in addition to their normal term discounts. So the price starts at $6.25 a month for VPN and $3.12 a month for Smart DNS. You can also read a full review of the service on our site if you'd like, with some additional information there. And then when you're done, go ahead and click Visit Site through Hours, and that will take you to our special landing page on OverPlay to give you the additional discount on their service. So I appreciate you watching or listening to our review today, and I hope you enjoy the OverPlay service.